You're listening to the Wife Wednesday Radio Network. Find, follow, and like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more. You can hear us across the U.S. and around the world on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Now, here are your favorite radio wives.
Hey everybody, it's Wednesday and I'm one of your wives, Cena.
And I'm Nicole.
We're back with a whole new season of the Wife Wednesday show, and you can now find us on every major podcast platform across the country.
That's right. So sit back, relax, and join us for this week's episode here on the Wife Wednesday Radio Network.
Welcome to 3 Peas in a Podcast. I'm Cena, and I'm joined by my husband, Andrew, and my best friend, Nicole. Embrace your inner weirdo with us as we unravel conspiracy theories, encounter cryptids, venture into urban legends, explore the extraterrestrial, and much, much more. Join our eccentric trio for a journey into the extraordinary.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Except Bootsy.
She's fine.
She's fine. Listen, our podcasts come with a disclaimer that they're pet friendly.
They are pet friendly.
And
usually Paisley Percy friendly.
Correct. And anyone who listens to the Wife Wednesday podcast knows that Bootsy is literally
Satan.
Lucifer. So.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Is this how we're starting the podcast?
Welcome to the bonus episode.
This is what we're doing instead of nerd questing right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
Because nerd questing, I want to do.
You want to do something specific.
I want to do something, but I have to figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, why don't you guys introduce yourselves now?
Well, I'm Nicole, the other wife from the Wife Wednesday podcast.
My co-conspirator for
partner in crime and all.
Oh, and I'm Andrew, the husband. Clearly.
To Cena.
To me, my husband.
Clearly.
Right now, we're currently sharing a mic because Wife Wednesday studio only had
two mics.
So, Andrew, you came up with the name 3 Peas in a Podcast. Mm-hmm. How did that come to you?
Well, usually it's 2 peas in a pod. But then, I just threw an extra P in there. And then the cast at the end. So it would make sense.
Well, I didn't know, were you already premeditating?
Nope, it just popped in my head.
It just popped. Well, that's what I meant. Were you thinking about titles and you're like, well, we've been talking about conspiracy theories. What are we doing? Yada, yada, yada.
Nope. It just popped into my head.
So this is all new, very raw and very unoutlined.
Mm-hmm.
But each one of us kind of did homework about conspiracy theories that interested us. Bootsy Jingle Bell is trying to steal my wallpaper off the walls. So who wants to start with their conspiracy?
I think Andrew should start.
No, I don't think Andrew should start.
It was your idea. You should start.
So I'm the host.
Correct.
So then you guys should, it's show and tell. I'm not going to start.
I'll start. I chose theories on Edgar Allan Poe's death. So the first theory is that he was beat to death. Don't know who, but they think it might have been by a woman. Other accounts also mention that ruffians who had beaten Poe senseless before his death, Eugene Diddy, I almost thought it said Diddler. Eugene Didier wrote in his 1872 article, The Grave of Poe, that while in Baltimore, Poe ran into some friends from West Point who prevailed upon him to join them for drinks, and Poe, unable to handle liquor, became madly drunk after a single glass of champagne. After which he left his friends to wander the streets, and in his drunken state he was robbed and beaten by ruffians and left insensible in the streets at night. Another one is cooping. I don't know what cooping is yet, but
Chicken cooping?
that's all I can think about. Like, he was pecked to death by chickens.
What a horrible way to go.
Yeah. Others believe that Poe fell victim to a practice known as cooping, a method of voter fraud practiced by gangs in the 19th century, where an unsuspecting victim would be kidnapped, disguised, and forced to vote for a specific candidate multiple times under multiple disguised identities. Voter fraud was extremely common in Baltimore around the mid-1800s, and the polling site where Walker found the disheveled Poe was a known place that coopers brought their victims. The fact that Poe was found delirious on Election Day then is no coincidence. Oy. Another one is that he died of alcohol. Don't know if it was poisoning, just alcohol period. A lot of the ideas that have come up over the years have centered around the fact that Poe couldn't handle alcohol. It has been documented that after a glass of wine, he was staggering drunk. His sister had the same problem. It seems to be something hereditary. Months before his death, Poe became a vocal member of the temperance movement, eschewing alcohol, which he'd struggled with all his life. So basically a death by drinking, which honestly probably was very common back then. Carbon monoxide poisoning is also an option, but mainly because of all the coal gas. Burning all the coal for everyone to be warm, I guess. Who needs to be warm?
Me.
Yeah, we know.
I need to be warm all the time.
All the time. That's why he gets wool socks and hand warmers.
3 pairs.
Heavy metal poisoning, which is basically the same thing as carbon monoxide poisoning. So I don't know why it's separate. Rabies. The cardiologist was practicing in a clinical pathologic conference where doctors are given patients along with a list of symptoms and instructed to diagnose and compare with the other doctors as well as the written record. The symptoms of the anonymous patient, who was Edgar Allan Poe, had succumbed to rabies, according to EP's supervising physician, J.J. Morgan. He had been admitted to a hospital due to lethargy and confusion. Once admitted, the patient conditions began a rapid downward spiral, and shortly the patient was exhibiting delirium, visual hallucinations, wide variations in pulse rate, and rapid, shallow breathing. Within 4 days, the median length of survival after the onset of serious rabies symptoms, Edgar Allan Poe was dead. So that's what... That was a doctor doing it in 1996. Like, you gave everything about how a person died, and they diagnose it. That would be so much fun. Okay. Sorry. Not fun, but
Nicole likes research.
Mhm.
I do. They also think he died of a brain tumor.
It's not the tumor.
It's the tumor.
Is that it for Edgar Allan Poe?
It's either that or the flu, or he was murdered. I mean, obviously, he was murdered by his brother's wealthy fiancée, Sarah Elmira Shelton.
Could have died of COVID too.
He probably died of COVID for sure. Bro, did you not get your COVID-19 vaccination? That's it for Edgar Allan Poe for now.
So, Andrew, are you going to go next or you want me to go?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the bodies in Ben Franklin's basement.
Oh my gosh, I almost chose that.
Skeletons. I'm sorry. Let's disclaimer.
Skeletons,
Skeletons. They're not
yes.
bodies anymore.
I mean, they're still part of a body.
Of course, but it is now not flesh. Like
It's just the caucus.
Great word.
So this is all from the Smithsonian.
Hey, that's where I got my information.
And just a disclaimer: this is all for fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing. We don't know anything but what we're reading. So,
Truth.
This is just a historical gossip session.
yeah.
Literally, yes. Because I was flabbergasted finding out about what Andrew's about to talk about.
So it says here, for nearly 2 decades leading up to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Benjamin Franklin lived in London in a house at 36 Craven Street. In 1776, Franklin left his English home to come back to America. More than 200 years later, 15 bodies were found in the basement, buried in a secret windowless room beneath the garden, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Beneath the garden, like fertilizing it.
Yep. Making the garden produce what kind of garden? Flower or
It doesn't
did it say?
It's not specific. It just says beneath the garden. In 1998, conservationists were doing repairs on 36 Craven, looking to turn Franklin's old haunt into a museum. From a 1 meter wide, 1 meter deep pit, over 1,200 pieces of bone were retrieved. Remnants of more than a dozen bodies, according to Benjamin Franklin's house. 6 were children. Forensic investigations show that the bones dated to Franklin's day, which is
1776.
yeah, like that's a long time ago. Franklin was a noted revolutionary and powerful Freemason, the Grand Master of Masons of Pennsylvania. So it's easy to wonder what dark secrets Franklin may have hidden in his basement chamber. But the truth, it turns out, isn't quite so dark. The most plausible explanation is not mass murder, but an anatomy school run by Benjamin Franklin's young friend and protege, William Hewson, said The Guardian in 2003. So it's just funny, protege, young friend, but it's an anatomy school.
Yeah.
And you're taking people and you're burying bodies and not, cremating them.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, you're burying them in your under your garden in your house, and you're not giving them to the families.
Yeah,
having a proper burial kind of. It's just weird. Still, in Franklin's time, anatomy lessons were a dark, ethically ambiguous business. Franklin was probably aware of the illegal studies going on in his buildings, says the Benjamin Franklin House, but it's doubtful that he was involved himself. Okay.
I just rolled my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't just have people down in your basement and taking bodies down in the basement and not know what's going on. Still, we can't imagine that. Curious man that he was, he didn't sneak down and check out the proceedings at least once or twice. It's basically all in that story. But it's just kind of weird to think that, good old Benjamin Franklin
Yeah.
has some
skeletons.
some skeletons in the garden.
In the garden.
In the garden.
We can. That's what we can call the episode.
Skeletons
in the garden.
But I am done. Yes.
I just took the mic from him. I was
Yeah,
like,
she
all right,
was like,
he's
"You're
done.
done."
You're done.
You're done.
Okay. So I picked, I picked the Mona Lisa to talk about
I can't wait.
because I've kind of been obsessed with it ever since I saw Mona Lisa Smiles as a child.
Mhm.
And then when I started learning about Leonardo da Vinci and then obviously all the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So which is why we're here right now.
Exactly.
So the first thing I thought I would do is I just went to Wikipedia and I'm like, I just want to find what the basic description of the Mona Lisa is.
Mm-hmm.
Just from a third party, unbiased, not ooh, what's the conspiracy view.
Mm-hmm.
So it says the Mona Lisa or Mona Lisa, and then it's got all like the pronunciations that I can't even read. It's a half-length portrait painting by Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci, considered is that an archetypal I never know how to archetypal.
Yeah, I get it.
Archetypal masterpiece of Italian Renaissance. It has been described as the best known, most visited, most written about, the most sung about, and the most parody work of art in the world. The painting's novel qualities include the subject's enigmatic expression, monumentally, I can't speak English, of the composition, the subtle model forms, and the atmospheric illusion. The painting has been traditionally considered to depict the Italian noblewoman Lisa del Giocondo. It is painted in oil on a white Lombardy poplar panel. Leonardo never gave the painting to the family, and it is believed that he later left it in his will to his favorite apprentice, Salai. It was also believed to have been painted between 1503 and 1506. However, Leonardo may have continued working on it as late as 1517. It was acquired by the King Francis I of France, and is now the property of the French Republic. It has been on permanent display in Paris since 1797. So, according to Wikipedia, that is what the Mona Lisa is. So I was like, well, what's some conspiracy theories? And I found a list of 9 of them. And they're not even like all the ones that I thought they would be.
Yeah.
And some of them I'm just like, I don't know why that's a conspiracy theory. But technically, who was Mona Lisa? Since it was never left to the family, this says historically Mona Lisa is the wife of a Florentine gentleman. We know her name. But this woman in the painting is shrouded in mystery because no other proof of her actual appearance survive.
Imagine actually being her, and like there was a Doctor Who episode where he brought
Vincent Van Gogh
to the future and like to his
art.
museum and see his art and what people actually think about him. And imagine them bringing Lisa to the future and her
chair. It's a struggle
to see how many people are literally just coming to see a painting of her.
Yeah. So one thing is there's a lot of conspiracy theories just about the smile alone. And I could probably like do more research and find out more. But this says the mysterious smile. Most people find Mona Lisa's smile very mysterious. She seems to be smiling, yet her eyes are sad. It is a smile that led conspiracy theorists to deduce that there are secrets in the Mona Lisa. So here's one. Was the Mona Lisa pregnant? Mona Lisa's tummy does have a hint of a baby bump, and she is sitting with her hands folded to hide it. And the original Lisa del Giocondo was indeed pregnant with her second child when she was painted, according to hearsay. So here's another one. And they photoshopped a mustache on the Mona Lisa. It's great. And it says another one is that the Mona Lisa was actually a man. Some theorists have found the stature of the Mona Lisa overtly manly. The fact that she has no hint of a bosom has led many to believe that the Mona Lisa was actually an effeminate man.
That's a fib.
Sorry. I know. You could see
it's just because there's no cleavage out the top.
Yeah.
But there kind of is.
So here's another one, that the Mona Lisa was Leonardo da Vinci's mother.
Oh.
Some historical testimonies also suggest that Leonardo may have painted the Mona Lisa in the likeness of his own mother, Caterina da Vinci, which is a great name.
Agreed.
And then here's another one.
I don't think she was pregnant. Go ahead.
The Mona Lisa was Da Vinci himself.
Oh, okay.
Some theorists have believed that
Drag.
the Mona Lisa might have been a young and beardless version of Leonardo da Vinci himself. The painting has amazing similarities with his self-portrait. Yeah, I mean,
RuPaul's Drag Race, here I come.
Amon and Elisa, men and woman. Some historians have claimed that that Mona Lisa is a combination of man and woman. The Latin words Amon and Elisa combine to form Mona Lisa, which makes Mona Lisa a hermaphrodite.
Truth.
Okay.
This is captioned, "Why no eyebrows?"
I mean, agreed.
Mona Lisa looks strange because she has absolutely no facial hair.
I mean, Whoopi Goldberg hasn't had eyebrows since like the 80s.
I mean,
Leave
truth.
Whoopi out of this.
Leave Whoopi out of
Whoopi,
it.
we're sorry.
Even her eyebrows are plucked clean. Some historians say that it was customary for noble women to shave their eyebrows off in the 16th century, though.
I mean, I would believe it. They've done crazier
So
things.
there's an ad that's not even part of this, which is the Mona Lisa with like
Oh.
the starts of a satanic face.
Yeah.
Or like the pentagram
Yeah.
painted on it. So yeah. So the golden triangle. Some theorists believe that the Mona Lisa is perfect in terms of symmetry. It forms an ancient symbol of the chalice. Ooh, that's maybe what that is.
No, it's
Probably.
adds this on the bottom.
Okay.
And there it is.
Okay, there it is. All right, right. It forms the ancient symbol of the chalice, and that is an indirect hint to the mystical Holy Grail. Dan Brown has elaborated about this theory in his bestseller book, Da Vinci Code, which of course I read. So, yeah.
I love that book.
So yeah, that is all the research I did for that.
That makes me want to
Hot
do
dogs,
research
yeah.
on thinking of the Da Vinci Code and all the whatever movies that came after it. Makes me want to do Mary Magdalene.
Yes, because there's
And
theories that the Mona Lisa was Mary Magdalene.
In the Last Supper, how to the right of Jesus or whatever is Mary Magdalene. It's a woman, not a man.
yeah.
Not or that she was actually one of the disciples.
Listen, she was a disciple, but they don't want to give her the word because she was a woman.
Correct.
So I actually know what I'm researching for next one. I've already posted it in our Discord, and I'm actually excited to delve into that research.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is our first episode, so we're still getting a feel for what we're doing.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, do you know? Are you thinking about what you're going to do next time?
Not really. No, there's so many conspiracy
Not
theories
until
out
Nicole
there.
tells you to.
I do it by my choice and my want to research that subject.
Yeah.
So
I just have to make him do his homework.
by choice,
Yes. Do your homework
His
by
idea.
choice, please.
As well.
we'll edit that part out.
Leave it in, Daddy.
Well, peas. I'm out.
Peacing out.
Peace out.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode.
This week's show was recorded by yours truly in our studio in Ohio.
Our show is edited, mixed, and published by the team at Lead Up Studios, and our executive producer is Dustin,
AKA Daddy.
You've been listening to the Wife Wednesday podcast.
Until next time,
Bye.
You've been listening to the Wife Wednesday Radio Network. Wife Wednesday is produced by Lead Up Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. Sound mastering and final production is handled by me, Dustin. Be sure to find, like, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to share the show with your friends. New episodes from the Wife Wednesday Radio Network drop every Wednesday on all major podcast platforms in the U.S. and abroad. To contact the show directly, please email us at info@wifewednesdaypod.com. Thanks for listening.